The world's smallest nuke, a portable apocalypse in a suitcase. In the 1960s, at the height of the Cold War, the world witnessed an arms race unlike any before. Superpowers were developing massive nuclear warheads capable of obliterating entire cities. But among these giants, there existed a terrifying anomaly, the W-54, the smallest tactical nuclear bomb ever created. A nuke in a suitcase, the W-54 was shockingly compact. Unlike its monstrous counterparts, this tactical nuke was small enough to be carried in a suitcase-sized container, weighing around 50 pounds, 23 kilos. It could be transported by a single soldier and deployed in ways never seen before, deadly yet precise. While traditional nukes aimed to wipe out entire regions, the W-54 had a different purpose: small-scale but devastating tactical strikes. With a yield as low as 0.02 kilotons, equivalent to 20 tons of TNT, it was meant for battlefield use rather than total annihilation. Deployment: the Davy Crockett weapon system. One of the most infamous applications of the W-54 was the Davy Crockett nuclear weapon system, a recoilless rifle that could launch a nuclear warhead. Soldiers could fire it from a tripod-mounted launcher, sending a miniature atomic explosion towards enemy forces. However, there was a major flaw. The blast radius was so small that soldiers firing it risked getting caught in their own nuclear explosion. A Cold War relic. Despite its futuristic concept, the W-54 was eventually retired in the 1970s. It was deemed too dangerous for practical use, and advancements in warfare made such weapons unnecessary. Today, it remains a chilling reminder of an era when nuclear destruction was not just a global threat, but a battlefield option. In the final year of World War I, artillery reigned supreme on the battlefield, shaping the course of history with fire and steel. This rare photograph captures an artillery unit standing proudly beside a massive railway gun in France, 1918, a symbol of industrial warfare at its peak. The power behind the tracks, railway guns were monsters of destruction, capable of launching shells over 20 miles away with devastating precision. Their sheer size made them impossible to transport conventionally, so they were mounted on train tracks, moving strategically across war zones like mechanized titans. Engineering feat or battlefield nightmare? These guns required entire crews to operate, from loaders to spotters, calculating long-range trajectories. Their impact was psychological as much as physical. The thunderous roar of a single shot could be heard for miles, striking fear into enemy ranks. A legacy cast in iron. Despite their dominance in WI, railway guns gradually became obsolete with the rise of air power and modern artillery. Yet their legacy remains, frozen in images like this, a testament to the brutal ingenuity of war. During the Victorian era, 1837 to 1901, men took great pride in their mustaches, but sipping hot tea posed a challenge. Steam and liquid could ruin their carefully groomed facial hair. Enter the mustache cup, a clever invention from the UK featuring a built-in ledge to keep mustaches dry while drinking. This quirky yet practical trend quickly became a symbol of class and refinement, proving that even the smallest details mattered in Victorian fashion. Standing at an astonishing 7 feet 6 inches, Ralph Madsen was a real-life giant of the Wild West. Born in 1897, he became famous not just for his height, but for his charm and charisma. Unlike many who suffered due to extreme height, Madsen embraced his uniqueness and found a place in rodeo shows and public events, often posing with politicians and celebrities. In an era without modern medical treatments for gigantism, Madsen remained healthy and active, using his towering presence to captivate audiences. His most famous moment, standing next to President Calvin Coolidge, making the U.S. leader look like a child in comparison. A true Texas legend, Madsen's story proves that being different can be a superpower. In 1888, London's Whitechapel district was paralyzed by terror. A faceless killer lurked in the shadows, leaving behind a trail of gruesome murders. As panic spread, the Metropolitan Police took an unprecedented step. They distributed flyers to every house in Whitechapel, pleading for information to catch the infamous Jack the Ripper. Despite this desperate attempt, the killer was never caught. The mystery endures, and over a century later, his identity remains one of history's greatest unsolved crimes. In 1969, behind the scenes of Sam Whiskey, a towering presence stole the spotlight, not just on screen, but on set. Clint Walker, standing an imposing 6 feet 6 inches, effortlessly lifted his co-stars, Burt Reynolds and Ossie Davis, turning a serious Western into a moment of pure fun. Known for his calm demeanor and immense strength, Walker was more than just an action star. He was a real-life gentle giant. This playful snapshot captures the lighter side of Hollywood's toughest cowboy. In the brutal chaos of World War II, where millions perished, the Lysenko brothers defied all odds. All 10 of them, each serving on the front lines, faced the horrors of battle. Yet, against every expectation, every single one survived. Their story stands as a rare testament to resilience, luck, and, perhaps, fate itself. How did they make it through when so many did not? In 1893, the Lancaster watch camera revolutionized covert photography. Disguised as a pocket watch, this Victorian-era spy tool allowed users to snap discreet photos without drawing attention. At a time when photography was bulky and obvious, this device offered a glimpse into the future of surveillance. Was it a marvel of innovation or an invasion of privacy? Imagine being captured by 3 different armies and forced to fight for each one. That was the fate of Yang Kyung-jong, a Korean man who became an unwilling soldier in 3 of Wobuupu's most powerful militaries: Japan, the Soviet Union, and Nazi Germany. Drafted by Japan, 1938. As Korea was under Japanese rule, he was forced into the Imperial Japanese Army. Captured by the Soviets, 1939. Sent to a brutal Siberian labor camp, only to be drafted into the Red Army when the USSR needed more soldiers. captured by the Germans. 1943. Forced into the Wehrmacht to fight on the Eastern Front. Final capture, 1944. The Allies caught him in Normandy, France, wearing a German uniform, completely unaware of his insane journey. This one-man story is a mind-boggling tale of survival, war, and fate. What happened to him next? Some say he ended up in the U.S., living a quiet life after escaping the horrors of war. From war machines to scrap metal, the fate of Witu's mighty bombers. In the aftermath of World War II, the U.S. found itself with an overwhelming surplus of heavy bombers, once the backbone of its air power. Kingsman Air Force Base in Arizona became one of the largest aircraft boneyards, where hundreds of B-17 Flying Fortresses, B-24 Liberators, and B-29 Super Fortress were sent for disassembly. These steel giants, once symbols of destruction, were stripped of valuable parts and melted down, their metal repurposed for peacetime industries. It was a stark contrast. Just years before, these bombers had ruled the skies, and now they were reduced to scrap, marking the end of an era.